field today.
Anybody want a hot chocolate?
Are you buying?
Please don't give it to Dan because he'll spill it on me again.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, did your pants dry out or are they frozen to your leg?
They're frozen stiff. Why I haven't walked around here.
You're welcome, Bob.
Gotta be careful where it burns you.
So some discussion on the sideline between Coach Beccarelli and the referee. They got that straightened out. And the Agawam Brownies defense trying to hold off the West Springfield Terriers. Thanksgiving Day game. Happy Thanksgiving to all our viewers out there. You're watching Agawam Sports Week. Frank Andrus, Frank Disco, Dan Shenefield, and Bob Newman. And a pass across, incomplete. Alan Barron had it and it bounced in and out of his hands.
I think there was two attributing factors to the incompletion of that pass, Frank. Number one, I think he's cold. Number two, I think he heard the footsteps.
Yeah. There was a few brownies around him on that play.
That was
and then number three, he said, do I really want to get hit when I'm cold?
It's tough out there. Third down upcoming for the West Springfield Terriers. Brownies on top in the third quarter, 14-0. There's Laundry. You saw that.
I don't think there's a flag left in a pocket on that one.
There's even some people on the sidelines that threw flags on that. No doubt an illegal procedure call against the Terriers. So they'll repeat the third down. It'll bring up third down and 11. And once again, that brings up, more importantly, a passing play for the Terriers. They haven't been very successful at it.
Being down 14-0 in the third quarter, not being able to move the ball has probably got to be the most frustrating thing West Springfield is experiencing right now, knowing that they're going to the Super Bowl.
No doubt about it. And Blizzard throws the pass incomplete. Not sure who he was going to on that play. But once again, the Agawam Brownie defense holding off the Terrier offense, and that's going to bring up 4th and 11, and I'm sure we're going to see 81 Sam Hoffman.
Think he's going to try a field goal or a punt, Frank?
Well, from this far out, I doubt he'd make it, but
he might try it.
You never know.
Got the wind to his back.
Big punt upcoming by Hoffman. He gets it off under a decent Brownie rush, and then slipping down there, Dan Moriarty, and it'll be down by the Terriers. And from the looks of things, the ball will be down at about the Brownie 12-yard line. It'll bring 1st and 10 as Agawam once again goes on the offense.
Well, I'd like to see them come out explosive here. They got to keep the momentum in Agawam's favor. The defense, like we've all said, are doing a superb job out there, and the offense has got to keep that high going for them.
Yeah, no doubt about it, because 14-0 by any stretch of the imagination against a club against Westside's caliber, they can come back. They do have a lot of weapons other than Eric Nunez, who has been lost to them for this game and quite possibly the Super Bowl. So you've got to go out there with intensity as Vatsekis on the carry slipped down, and a loss of about 1 on the play to bring up 2nd and 11 from the 11-yard line. But if you're a Terrier fan or more or less a Terrier player, you've got to be wondering, being down 14-0 in this, of course, the rivalry game going into the Super Bowl the following week.
Well, like you said, it's only the third quarter. We can't underestimate anything. Agawam's got to keep playing their game, keep the pressure on, most of all, keep the intimidation going.
2nd and 11 from the 11-yard line for Moriarty in the offense. Handoff there to Vatsekis, stacked up by 74, Brian Frederick, and number 72, Dan Hickey. And between them both, I think you're looking at about 600 pounds. And I'm just guessing.
Give or take an ounce or two.
Yeah. I mean, that's like hitting a brick wall as the Terrier defense, one of the best in the league thus far. And one of the big reasons, 74, Brian Frederick, and 72, Dan Hickey, who have played outstanding all season long.
And I can imagine him devouring the turkey this afternoon.
Third down and 11 for the Agawam Brownies. Moriarty back to pass across the middle and almost picked off by Sean Lyman. Ooh, boy, that could have been a turning point had that have been picked off by Sean Lyman.
That was a quick pass, Frank, and I didn't even really see who the receiver was that was supposed to come out for it. All I saw was two Westside jerseys standing there.
Yeah, I was looking myself here. I heard Frank's voice raising them. Didn't see any player in sight.
Agawam's going to have to be careful of those kind of plays. West Springfield's going to the Super Bowl because they're that kind of a team. One mistake and they're back in the game.
Anderson punting the ball and dropped down there. But, you know, back at the line of scrimmage, Frank, everybody in the stands pointing, and I think they've got a penalty. I think there's going to be a penalty called.
Roughing the kicker.
Yes, sir. And I think what you're going to see here is running into the kicker. Now that is not an automatic first down. Running into the kicker is a 5-yard penalty.
Fourth down.
So it's still going to be fourth down for the Agawam Brownies. And what's going to happen, they'll be better off. They'll decline this penalty. They should decline the penalty. As it is still fourth down. There you hear the referee out there discussing it now.
You already declined it? Okay, go.
And Agawam getting
If you decline it, it's your ball.
Agawam getting the sign there to decline it.
You want to kick it again?
The Brownies have decided to refuse the penalty.
Yeah, and there you go. See, the ref talking with the players out there, and they're a little indecisiveness, but the Brownies declining the penalty on the running into the kicker penalty, the 5-yard penalty, and the Terriers will have it 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line.
Sometimes those discussions with the referees are like some of the voting questions on the ballots. A yes means no and a no means yes.
Ball handed off to 14, Randy Miller, and he just got socked out of bounds by 82, Matt Disco. Pickup of about 6 on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 4.
You know, Miller's having a fairly decent day out there today. I think the score and the way Agawam is playing has been overshadowing, but Mr. Miller's been a real workhorse out there today.
Well, you know, there's no doubt about it that the Terriers have a lot of offensive weapons, and here you go, 14, Randy Miller. And they've got Josh Blizzard, who's a very good quarterback. Steve Mayforth, a very good receiver. You've got 44, Alan Barron. So they have a very, very well-balanced club. But I think what's happening right now, and it has been happening since the opening kickoff, is the Agawam Brownies are beating the Terriers to the punch. They're not giving them time to unwind. They're not giving West Springfield time to get into that rhythm. And they are beating them in every aspect of the game thus far. Agawam playing probably a perfect game.
There's a good shot of our cameraman sitting high on the top of Harmon Smith Field.
Freezing to almost death.
No, he's got hot chocolate. I made sure of that. Sure.
Handoff there.
Guys down on the sidelines were kind of tough because they're always moving.
I got to compliment our cameramen today. I think they're doing an excellent job down there. I know it's really cold down there. I was talking to them earlier. But I got to congratulate and thank our cameramen down there today.
Oh, no doubt about it. Hats off to these guys. 2:48 to go in the third quarter. Brownies still on top, 14-0. And there's a timeout on the field. We'll bring you back here in just a moment. One of the many patrons that have come here for the Thanksgiving Day game there, drawing some plays in the dirt, so to speak.
She must have a big knife because she isn't going to draw us into that frozen dirt. Carve it in maybe, but not draw it in.
Oh, gosh. Some of the players on the sideline in your picture, Brownies, trying to stay warm. Very, very cold. If you just joined us once again, you're watching Agawam Sports Week. Brownies on top, 14-0 over the West Springfield Terriers. The Terriers face 4th and 4. Will go for it. Back to pass, Blizzard. Blizzard under heavy pressure, airs it way out, and Moriarty kicks the ball out, and that is one heads-up play. One heads-up play by Moriarty.
That was probably the best, one of the best. How do you want to say best? Bestest? One of the bestest defensive.
One of the better.
defensive plays and the fact that, yes, he had the interception, he had it wired, and he coughed it up on purpose because now Agawam takes over 40 yards down the field.
That's right. 1st and 10 from the 47 instead of 1st and 10 from the 15. So heads up play by the senior Dan Moriarty, and the Brownies once again will start out offensively. Moriarty calling the signals, and the Terriers trying to do something to stop the Brownies. Number 1, Bob Kunkel in motion, handoff to 44, Jason Vatsekis, and he got slammed there by number 50, Eric Fenton, but he picks up 5. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5. 38, Steve Lanier, the senior, leading the way on that play, as he does on most of the plays. 38, Steve Lanier, well, probably not getting much credit as he should, but as a blocking back, Steve Lanier, one of the best in the league, and he does his job well.
He opened a good hole there that time.
2nd and 5 for the Brownies. Kunkel in motion. Nice pitch out there. Handoff to 38, Steve Lanier. And he got stopped by 69, Mike Harper, and number 14, Randy Miller. But that's going to be enough for a 1st down, Brownies. 1st and 10.
That's the type of yardage they have to make, Frank. It's just positive yards. You're able to pick up the 4, 5, 6 yards a down. That way there, you've got ball control, you've got clock control, you're making your 1st downs, and you say in the west side, take it away, I dare you.
Yeah, Agawam's really playing a sharp game. They look really good out there right now. Really fun to watch here.
Agawam operating 1st and 10, pitched out to 44, Jason Vatsekis. Vatsekis knocked out of bounds by the Terriers. Pickup of about 3 on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Agawam Brownies. And Agawam looking to run the ball, trying to work its way out of this 3rd quarter. Not much time left in the 3rd. Brownies still on top, 14-0 over a shocked West Springfield Super Bowl bound club. And say that 3 times fast.
They're shocked. Super Bowl Bowl, right?
Yeah.
That's like free throw.
Oh, tough. And I do that a lot too when the season rolls around. Handoff to 44, Jason Vatsekis, hit there by a host of Terrier players.
Agawam once again here, mixing the plays up really well late in the 3rd quarter.
No doubt about it. Agawam offense running on all 8 cylinders. More importantly, running on all 8 cylinders is a healthy Agawam defense, and I'm sure the coaching staff would have loved to have had that squad together at the beginning of the season.
Well, I did with Hoosick Valley.
That's right, and that was the one win that they got early on in the season, and then injury plaguing them throughout. Handoff once again to Jason Vatsekis, trying to get to the outside. Caught there from behind, and then knocked out of bounds, but he should have enough for a 1st down.
Definitely a nice run by Jason up that right-hand side. Was able to stay the 2.5 yards off the sideline and gave him that extra room that he needed as he proceeded down the field.
English not one of our strong points here in the broadcast.
Well, that's what happens when you can't feel your thighs anymore. Language your feet. They were
Italians all together in one booth.
Oh, handoff to 38, Steve Lanier, hit there by number 50, Eric Fenton. As the clock winding down in this 3rd quarter, not much time left, seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Oh, there you see it on the clock, 3, 2, 1, 0, and that'll do it here at Harmon Smith Field. Another quarter history. After 3, Brownies 14, West Springfield. Harmon Smith Field, the site. Happy Thanksgiving to all our viewers out there. We want to remind you, you're watching Agawam Sports Week. Frank Andrus along with Frank Disco, Dan Shenefield, and Bob Newman giving you, or trying to give you, the play-by-play in a very cold atmosphere.
I don't believe those guys were picking up cold water to drink. You gotta be kidding me.
2nd down.
They gotta have something in that. They gotta have a thermos bottle over there. That's gotta be warm water.
Well, after the 1st hit, you're not cold anymore. These guys are hyped up. They're playing real good football today. And I really don't think anybody, unless you're sitting the bench, is called on that team today.
Second down on the 24-yard line. 33, Brian Colby in motion. Pitch out to Vatsekis. Vatsekis tripped up there by number 2, Dan Webster. Pickup of about 6 on the play. It'll be third down for the Agawam Brownies.
Agawam showing some excellent blocking there on that play, giving Fonseca a lot of room around the left side.
No doubt about it. Everybody reading their plays very, very well. And we said it before earlier that the Agawam Brownies playing pretty much error-free ball up to this point, leading the West Springfield Terriers 14-0. And I think we lost Dan Shenefield because I have not heard from him in about 30 minutes, and he could be frozen on the steps just behind them. Randy Miller and a big tackle on Jason Vatsekis is going to bring up fourth down for the Agawam Brownies.
I think what he did is he climbed down. He went over to the snack bar, got 3 hot chocolates and 6 Murphy donuts. He's sitting behind there where the sun's beating down and he's wolfing down his donuts, so we can't have any.
The trouble is, I gave him $10 at the beginning of the third quarter.
And he never brought you nothing back. You know, we had a penalty on the play, a blocking above the waist call, which is going to be, or was declined by the West Springfield Terriers, and the Brownies calling a timeout. 14. Brownies faced 4th and 6. And I do not see number 10, Brian Anderson, so I'd have to say that Agawam going to be going for it. Dan Moriarty leading the offense out now. And the West Springfield Terriers hard pressed to hold the Agawam offense today. We'll try to do it here on 4th down and 6. Moriarty back to pass. He's got decent protection. Then he's under pressure, and a pass over and then completed. Complete to 83, Brian Pellegrino. Hit there by 14, Randy Miller. And number 72, Big Dan Hickey. And that's going to be enough for a first down. They'll have the ball, 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line.
Boy, that was a very, very close play, Frank. They just barely got the first down on it. The only thing that our camera advantage didn't give us was the fact that the down markers were on that side, and that's where the play went. Stick placement, ball placement, very, very critical.
So the placement doing the Brownies a big favor. They'll have it 1st and 10 deep in the Terrier zone at the 15-yard line, already leading 14-0, and the Terriers finding it tough to stop the Brownies on this particular day. Pitched out to 44, Vatsekis gets it on the one-step hop, goes to the left-hand side. He's got nobody there. Touchdown, Jason Vatsekis. And what a nice play by Jason Vatsekis. He took that pitch from Moriarty up around his face mask and came down and managed to scoot through that hole in the opening. And with 8:22 to go, Brownies on top, 20-0.
Nice play to the outside, Frank. He caught that mid-stride, never broke stride, didn't even stutter step. Right on the fly, right around, right in. Nice pickup, nice yardage, good blocking by his offense, and good running by Jason.
Big block back there, number 88. He really made that play work. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but that really made that play go.
So Brian Anderson out on the field to kick the point after attempt to try and make it 21-0. And no, they snapped it on the fake and then completes it over to the 2-point conversion. Holy cow, Brian Pellegrino gets the ball for the 2-point conversion, but there is a flag on the play. And I think what may have happened with that flag on the play is Brian Pellegrino, after he got the pass, he spiked the ball, and that's going to go as an unsportsmanlike penalty. And what they will do with that is they'll assess that on the kickoff. As you see there, 8:22 to go in the 4th quarter. Brownies with a shocking 22-0 lead over the West Springfield Terriers.
If anybody was a betting person, Frank, and walked in here and said Agawam was going to beat Westside by 22 points and shut them out completely, I don't think anybody would take any odds on that. I really don't. Everything that Agawam has done today, they've executed almost perfectly. I think with Mr. Nunez not playing for Westside, I think that kind of was a little bit of a letdown. But I also think West Springfield was looking for Super Bowl in lieu of Turkey Day.
Well, Frank, you know, you could be right in games of this nature, of course, with the rivalry on the line, the emotions running high for both squads, and, of course, what we saw with the bonfire the other night, we saw a group of players that really wanted this game, and we had a chance to talk to some of them, and they were really high-strung. So coming into this game, the emotions were high to begin with. They had something to prove. This was the game that they wanted to win, and West Springfield, barring some type of miracle here in the fourth quarter, will go out on their season on a losing note. Anderson with the big kickoff, taken there by 21, Steve Mayforth, and then he got dumped by 43, Murray Giroux of the special teams unit, and the Terriers will have it 1st and 10 from the 41.
Everybody's working perfectly. I mean, you know, they're not giving an inch. Everything that's happening, you got 8 minutes, 16 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. I don't foresee Agawam letting down at all.
No, and they have not since the opening kickoff. The intensity level on the offense and the defense has been very high, and darn it, gee, I don't know what they'll call there.
It looks like there was a hut. Somebody decided to go on a single hut instead of the 3 hut.
Well, if Agawam had the ball, we might have said, well, they pulled him off sides, but it doesn't work that way.
Not really. So on the procedure call, the Terriers 1st and 15 from the 36-yard line. Pitched out there to number 14, Randy Miller. Miller trying to get to the outside, does a decent job, and then he got hammered there by number 1, Bob Kunkel. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 8 from the 43-yard line. So decent yardage gain by Randy Miller.
Bob Coco's having an excellent game today, too. He's making some big plays out there, and he's closing out that end.
Well, there's no doubt that the seniors on the club certainly want to go out on a winning note. They've had 4 years of football here at Agawam High. And, of course, it's always a sad day when the seniors who you have been coaching for 4 years have to leave. And they do want to leave on an up note. And beating the West Springfield Terriers here today will certainly accomplish that feat. Back to pass, Josh Blizzard under heavy pressure and then airs it out and then drops and hits the ground. Trying to get to the play. And I'm not sure who he was going to. Josh Blizzard on the pass. It was no good. It'll be 3rd and 8 from the 43-yard line. And number 21 on there trying to get to Steve Mayforth. And that pass incomplete. So a big 3rd and 8 from the 43.
A lot of excitement on the Agawam bench right now, Frank. Tremendous amount.
Well, if you look over on the Agawam side, there isn't a person who has left the stands. And, of course, in your picture there, you'll see that a lot of the West Springfield crowd has filed out of the gates here in this fourth quarter. Pass incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th down and 8 from the 43-yard line.
What do they call it, desertion under fire?
Yeah. No, they call that beating the rush home.
Or simply just had enough.
Anyway, you cut it up. It's the Agawam Brownies 22 and the West Springfield Terriers nothing here in the fourth quarter. Once again, you are watching Agawam Sports Week. Frank Andrus along with Frank Disco, Dan Shenefield and Bob Newman, in the pass just out of reach of Randy Miller, and the Agawam Brownies will take over 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line.
Those last 3 plays by West Springfield were almost desperation plays. They're trying to get something to happen big in lieu of saying, hey, look, we've got some time on the clock. Let's move it. They're trying to capitalize on some big plays, and you're not going to do that. You got a team that's got you by 22 points. They're going to be watching for everything that you're going to be playing with. So consequently, Agawam takes over on downs.
Well, we'll see what the Agawam offense does here. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Dan Moriarty getting set to call the play from the line of scrimmage. Pitches out to Vatsekis. He got trapped in the backfield. Does a nice job of breaking some tackles. Finally hit there by 88, Mike Balboni. So the dodging of Vatsekis for naught as 2nd down and 10 on the no gain.
And I'll tell you, he took 3 good hits coming around that end, and he was still standing when it was done. I've got to give Mr. Von Saget a lot of credit. He's a real good running back.
No doubt about it. One of the premier running backs in Western Massachusetts. And our credit certainly goes to the offensive line, who opened some big holes here this morning. 2nd down and 10 upcoming for the Brownies. 85, Dan Bodman in motion. Handoff there to Vatsekis. Vatsekis across the right-hand side. Finally dropped down, stacked up by the Terriers. So Agawam trying to run this quarter out, and timeout on the field. Agawam 22, West Springfield. Back here at Harmon Smith Field after the timeout, and your pitcher 89, Brian King, trying to cheer on the Agawam Brownies.
There's a future football player.
Oh, yes. Braving the weather to come out here. There you go. Oh, boy.
Lick the ice cubes off my nose there.
7 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this 4th quarter. Brownies on top, 22-0. Happy Thanksgiving to all our viewers out there. And happy Thanksgiving to that gentleman right there in your picture.
There's a face a mother could love right there.
So the Agawam Brownies doing it all offensively and defensively. And we'd like to take the time to thank the Agawam Brownies for allowing us to film all their home games and pretty much all of their games this season.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work.
Oh, it's a ton of work, but I think when you look at some of the outcomes, you don't mind doing some of that work. Okay, we're set to roll now. The Agawam Brownies, 3rd down in West Springfield Terrier territory. Dan Moriarty set to call the play from the line of scrimmage. Rolls off to his right. Moriarty tried to pass and then decided to keep it and rolls out of bounds. Ridden out of bounds by Randy Miller.
Number 60, Chris DeMastrius, had a good day today. Had a good day, Chris.
Oh, no doubt. Chris DeMastrius had a good year all year round. And so after the Moriarty runaround, 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line, and the Agawam Brownies keep the drive alive deep in the West Springfield territory.
I'm almost running out of stuff to say, Frank. Really. They've just been playing ball so great, we just start to sound like we're repeating ourselves. And that's exactly what we're doing. We are repeating ourselves, but they've been playing fantastic football.
Oh, they certainly have. Vatsekis stacked up there on a short gain, hit by 32, Eric Peterson, number 84. Josh Hoffman, 24, also in there, Sean Lyman. That's going to bring up 2nd down for the Agawam Brownies.
For the Agawam seniors, with this being their last game, this is going to be the game they're going to remember for the rest of their lives.
There's no doubt about it. As a senior and a senior football player, you certainly want to leave on an up note. And I'd have to say at this point, the seniors of the Agawam Brownie football team will certainly do that today.
Well, more so than that, what it'll tell everybody and tell the team and the coaching staff, I would believe here in Agawam, that there's a lot of talent here. You may want to have that big game. You may want to have that special game on Thanksgiving, but if you don't have the talents to fulfill that, you can be praying all day for the big shot. And I think Agawam showed a lot of ability out here today, and we should have some good things in store for us next year.
Well, no doubt about it. A delay of game call being called against the Agawam Brownies. Repeat the 2nd down, only 5 yards deeper than what they were. And a lot of good kids out on the field today. There's one of them, pow, right into Dad's arms. Dan Moriarty and the Agawam Brownies trying to get into the territory of the West Springfield Terriers, and I mean the end zone, as 13 scrambling Dan Moriarty finally taken down there by 14. Randy Miller. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6 for the Brownies.
Showing some talent in there, showing some ability, dodging a lot of blocks there. Looked good on that play, Dan.
And of course, what they're doing with these kinds of plays is they're running the clock down, and that's something West Springfield cannot afford to have happen at this time.
Well, there's no doubt that the Terriers would want to get the ball back, and Agawam, of course, will play keep away, and they'll keep the ball on the ground. And everybody knows when you run the ball on the ground, it runs out the clock, and that's exactly what the Brownies will try to do. Pitch out to Jason Botsakis, ran into some heavy traffic, and then did a great job of getting around on the outside. Finally